Okay. So we've got verse 36, chapter 11. Arjuna Uvacha Sthane Rishikesh Tava Prakirtya Jagat Prahrishyatyanurajyate Cha Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha. So Krishna is now shown his form, and Krishna is telling him that how fortunate Arjuna is to have received this experience. Okay. And Arjuna is now recognizing what he has received. And there is an aspect of fear, there's an aspect of awe, there's an aspect of gratitude. Namo namaste, namo namaste. So he is going down and bowing down to Krishna, repeatedly bowing down in complete adoration. So there are multiple emotions that Arjuna is rising after he goes through a spell of complete silence. He has seen this extraordinary form and he went into a silence. He became completely silent and he was just awestruck for a period of time. And at that time, there are no thoughts, no emotions, nothing. He is just basking in the joy of that experience. And when slowly, when he is able to perceive what he's experiencing and bring words out, and then he is having a whole lot of mixed emotions. Right? And this will happen to anyone who's had some experience of a deep state of meditation or some kind of a very graceful, something very, very graceful has touched you, or something very deep has touched you. You'll have this experience of silence. It is as though you're going into and I've heard people say deep sea diving experiences are like that. You go deep sea diving, you put all the mask and everything, and you go inside. There's very little sound that you can hear. It feels extremely meditative. And when we come out, you are engulfed in that silence. And I recall narrating my experience when we went above the Himalayas. We had gone to Mount Kailash Manasarovar Yatra. And in that, when we go to Nepal, in Nepal, we are there for one day for the formalities to get done. We can go for a 45-minute ride, a small chartered plane over the Himalayan ranges. So when you go through that, the only sound that you hear is of the propeller. The plane propeller fan sound is what you hear. But when you actually see, you see peaks and peaks and peaks of white snow. What you see in the front is all white mountains. You see down white mountains. You see on the right, left, you are engulfed by complete peaks, the Himalayan ranges. And if you are able to sit there and just observe that, a tremendous silence comes upon you. A very, very, very intense, but a very alive kind of silence. It's not silence that puts you to sleep. It's a silence that makes you feel alive. It makes you feel, of course, the experience there was how small am I? Because the Himalayan ranges are so massive, so massive. And you know that there are so many siddhas and so many rishis and munis who've been there, done tapas sadhana for many, many, many lifetimes. So, you know, there are the energy pockets that are there. So, you just observe and you process all of this and you think, then your mind comes to a still. And there is complete silence. And when we came out of the aircraft, also, there is so much silence. Nobody wanted to talk to each other. Like I remember, so we had a similar experience. Mama would recall at Vyasa Gufa, Vasishta Gufa. in Rishikesh. So you go in and there is amazing kind of silence, and when you come out of that silence, you don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to be in that silence. So Arjuna's experienced that, and when you experience that kind of silence, and when you come out, the coming out is very gentle, because you don't want, it's like it's become still water, and you don't want, and still water, even if a small mosquito goes and sits on still water, it will form a ripple. Think of a mosquito has a very, very, very fine legs. Even that, if it comes and sits on still water, it will create a ripple. It feels like that. Any kind of disturbance feels like a ripple on the stillness that you are in. So Arjuna is experiencing that because the mind has become stunned. It's been stunned. And that stillness is causing him a deep sense of bliss. And then when the mind slowly rises, and then he's recognizing what he's experiencing. And then we put words to it. And then we say, how beautiful it was, how deep it was, um, you know, how blissful and joyful it was. Start putting words. And that is what is happening to Arjuna. He is now identifying words, and he's trying to say, then he's trying to, now who's there in front of him? It's the same Krishna. The Krishna he's been talking to for so long, last 10 chapters, the same Krishna is standing there in this form. So the only person he can now express all that is going through him is through the same Krishna. So he's expressing now, and he's telling that he's now feeling what he's feeling. He felt awe. He felt, then he's starting to feel now when he's coming out of that state of awe, he's now slowly trying to come, he's getting a sense of fear because he's experiencing something that he's not experienced before. So there is a fear. I don't know what is this happening to me. I don't know what I'm seeing this, right? Because there is also a sense of disillusion. See, this is important. That is why I keep telling we have to practice the sense of disillusion. Because if we don't practice, when something like this happens to us, a beautiful experience also comes, we will only feel jerky. We will feel afraid because we have not practiced what it means to not exist. See, even sleeping, we don't practice sleep. We just fall into sleep. How many of us actually practice sleep? How many of us go into sleep consciously? We just fall asleep. That's why the term in English, fall asleep. You literally fall into sleep. The Sushupti Avastha or the Nidra Avastha, you fall into it, which means you don't choose to walk into it. You fall into it. Because you don't know when you are awake and when you slept off. You don't know. So that is why there is no fear of sleep. Because you don't know when it's happening and you fall into it. And you go into a state of dissolution. But when you're awake and you sense a state of dissolution, somewhere the I that I know of is dissolving, is not existing, there is fear that will come in. Because we have not experienced what it means to be not there. Na illa, I am not there. That experience, we don't know what it is. So it will always bring in fear. The same thing as Arjuna is happening. He's sensing fear because that state of dissolution, your mind starts to come up and say, get up, what are you doing? Because the mind is dissolving and the mind doesn't want to dissolve. So it will come and shake you up. And then fear comes. Fear is the aspect that shakes you out of that. And where is fear? Fear is rooted deep inside. It is an animal instinct. So it is one of the last things that will go away from us. But we have to practice. We have to practice sitting, and which is why in Buddhism and all, you have this shunya meditation. We should try and meditate. Sometimes we should sit and meditate like that, just to close our eyes and sit and just dissolve and say that, not say that I am this or I am that. Just say that I am not, there's no I really. There's no I. You break it down. You break it down to say, what is this I? This I is just a mental construct. Where is this I? Because in deep sleep, this I is not there. Really, it's not there. The mind created I is not there in deep sleep. So we should practice this. And when we practice this, then whenever there is a samadhi experience that comes, you will not be afraid. See, samadhi experience is waiting there to come into us. The experience of dhyana, samadhi is waiting. But some of these things within us will not allow you to, it will not allow us to touch that. So we should practice sitting and being nothing, thinking nothing, and be okay with it. Right? And it's not about telling somebody, you're not fooling or you're not trying to create an impression on someone. It is just for you, totally for yourself. When this happens, then there is no fear. But what Krishna is experiencing is fear. He's not experienced any of this kind of grand experiences. He's never been hit by this. So he is now going and saying that then fear comes and then also gratitude. Different emotions that come in. So gratitude also comes in and he's feeling extremely grateful. And he's telling Krishna, you are the one, you are the master of this universe. Right? And there's so much joy in praising you. And demons and asuras, they all run away from you. Rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti. They go into all different directions. Sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangaha. And everybody, all perfected beings also bow down to you in reverence. 37th verse, he goes on to say, Kasmachatena nameran mahatman gariyase brahmano api brahmanaha api adikartre ananta devesha jagannivasa tvaksharam sadasat sat asat tatparam yat. So you are greater than Brahma. And why shouldn't they bow down to you? Because you are the great one. Kasmachatena nameran mahatman. Why shouldn't they bow down to you? The one I spoke about, the perfected beings, everybody and asuras run away from you, all great beings bow down to you. And why shouldn't they? Because gariyase brahmano api adikartre. But you are much greater than that Brahma, the creator. The adikartra, adikarta, you are greater than the adikarta. Gariyase. Ananta devesha jagannivasa, you are this great limitless jagannivasa. We spoke about Jagannivasa, the one who's residing in this universe, but not of this. Right? Jagannatha. Tvamaksharam sad asad tat param yat. You are beyond. You are that aksharam. Tvam aksharam. You are the akshaya, the nakshayati, the tattva that does not perish. Aksharam. Sat asad tat param yat. That which is beyond sat and asad both. Then 38th verse, he says, Tvamadi Devah Purushah Puranaha, Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. Vettasi Vedyam cha Param cha Dhama, Tvaya Tatam Vishwam Ananta Rupa. So you are the original Adi Devaha, you are the Purushaha, you are the Puranaha, which means you are the most Sanatana, the most ancient. And you are Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. You are the one who's resting in this world. You are Narayana. Now you are Narayana. Vetasi Vedyam cha Param cha Dhama. You are both the Veta and the Vedya, which means the knower and the known, the object. You are all of that. Param cha Dhama. You are the supreme abode. Tvaya Tatam Vishwam Ananta Rupa. You alone possess all of these forms. You alone pervade the whole universe. Yeah, so he's praising Krishna. He's praising Krishna as the greatest of all beings. Vayuhu Yamaha Agnihi Varunaha Shashankaha Prajapatihi Tvam Prapitamaha. Prapitamaha. So he is your Vayuhu, your Yama, Yamaraj, or the Lord of Death, Yama, your Agnihi, your Varuna, your Chandra, Shashankaha, your Chandrama, your Prajapati, you are the creator, Brahma, and Prapitamaha, you are the great grandfather of everything that is there. Namo namastestu sahasra kritvaha. I bow down to you 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. Again and again, punascha bhuyo api namo namaste, punascha bhuyo api namo namaste, punascha bhuyo api namo namaste. I repeatedly bow down to you, O Krishna. And then the last verse for today, he says, Namah purastadatha prishtataste namostu te sarvata eva sarva anantaviryamita vikramastvam sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. I bow down to you, O Lord. Namah purastad atha prishtah prishtataha purastad prishtataha. So in the front, from the back, Namostute sarvata eva sarvas. From all directions I bow down to you. Ananta viryamita, you possess great virya. Amita vikramaha. Amita vikramaha means infinite greatness or valor or strength or power. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. You, again, you are pervading and you are everything. You are in and in pervading everything. So, these 5 verses, he is Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste, Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste. He is repeatedly looking at this form, and now he is in a sense of gratitude, complete gratitude and surrender and bowing down. He's saying the greatest of great that I know of are all bowing down to you. And why not? Because you are the greatest. He's feeling that experience of he's feeling that experience. There's nothing greater than this. He's having that kind of an experience. There's nothing beyond. At that moment, if you would have asked Arjuna, do you want anything? He will say, there's nothing that I can want. There's nothing that I can want. And important for us is we also have such experiences where we feel, I don't want anything. Bhagavan, I just want your kripa. Like how Kulasekara Alvar tells, I don't want, I am not doing this for Swarga, or I want to escape from Naraka. I want beautiful women, or for this, for that. Nothing. I just want to keep thinking about you, Mukunda. I want to keep thinking about you. Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste. So Krishna is in that state of experience now. So with this, we pause here today. We will pick up next week. Tomorrow we will meet for Matrika Mantra Pushpamala Stavam. We'll continue with that. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Svabhat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namah. Before going to sleep each night, try to practice this 5 minutes. You're sitting in the bed, you're about to lie down to sleep. Just close your eyes, sit down, and just practice the mentally. Just tell that, drop the identities. Any identity that you think of yourself as you are, drop all of that. Say that it's all mental created. These are all images I've created in my mind. Drop, 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 drop. and just be naked with yourself. Right? Practice this act of dissolution, dissolve. And when then beautiful experiences arrive, it will not cause any disturbance or fear. We'll be able to welcome it well. Okay. Hari Om, Namaskaram.
Hari Om.